Hey YouTube, how you doing? Kevin here. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about points. I've done this before. This is a mag that's been taken off, and I took it off to show you guys what the points and condenser are. Okay, this right here will be sitting in your bike on the KE100s, the KD80s, the KM100s, all those smaller two-stroke Kawasaki's is going to be sitting just like this. So your points are going to be at 12 o'clock, and your holes here are going to be at 12 and 6. Okay? These are your contact breaker points. Right here. And they open up by a cam that rides on this piece right here, see? This is your charging coil that supplies power to your points and condenser. Okay? And they ride on your magneto, on the rotor, on the back side. There is a cam, which is very hard to see, but there is a cam right here. But to identify the highest point in the lobe, on the front of your mag, somewhere on here, you're going to see a line. Rotate it till you see the line. There it is, right there. See that scribe mark right there? Well, at 12 o'clock on your engine, there's another line. If you line those two up, that is the highest point in the mag. And as a reference, you also have it lined up. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to try to focus in on it a little bit here. You also have that same scribe right here on the window. Okay? You want that at 12 o'clock. Okay? So, now you got to adjust your points. But first, we're going to talk about problems. Some of the problems you may have is the bike sat. The bike may have sat for a few months. It may have been sitting in a damp area. Could have been sitting in just a really crappy area. And moisture, you suspect, is the reason why you have no spark. Well, you would be correct. So this right here is a woman's nail file. It's real simple. You can go to CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, any place that has cosmetics. And I'm going to show you where you're going to stick this file. Okay. You are going to stick the file between the two contact breaker points. I don't know if you can see that or not. Got the file in there. And you go up and down with it. In and out like that. Why am I doing this? Okay, I am getting the crap, the crud, the corrosion that has built up on the two contact breaker points off of it until it's nice, clean, and smooth. Okay, and you should only be doing that about, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 10 times should be sufficient enough. Then you're going to gap your points. If you have new points that you're putting in, do not do this step. Skip it. Okay? I do my points every other condenser change. So if the points do fail the first time, I'll put new points in it. If it's the second time I've done points, I do points and condenser. If neither one of them have ever been done that you know of, replace both of them. That's a complete tune-up kit. Now, your condenser is held in with one Phillips screw right down bottom there. And it's soldered in. So you're going to need a soldering iron. I use this big Craftsman induction one here, which happens to be a 150 to 230 watt dual heat solder gun. It's fast, it's quick, and it's easy. So basically you're just going to put the soldering iron on here, heat up the solder till it's liquefied, and then pull your wires out. When you put your new one on, you screw down the base first, and there's a little tab. You stick the wires in there, you bend the tab over to it, and then you melt some solder onto it. Solder can be picked up at any hardware store. Any one of them. That's where you can buy solder. You can even buy solder at auto parts stores. You don't need anything specific. As long as it has flux in it, you're good to go. Okay? Now we're going to get on to the gapping part. When you go to gap your bike, your points, let me get the solder out of the way. Whenever you go to gap your points ignition, okay, you have to do it with the mag on. Okay, I tried doing it with the showing you guys in the video, but it was too difficult to see the points in the window. So there was a video on my page with me gapping the points with the the thing on it, and you couldn't see nothing. There was no light. So we're gonna pretend that the mag right here is on. The rotor is on the points, but I'm gonna take it off to show you guys what's actually happening and how to do it. Okay, so you're gonna be doing all your work through this window right here that has the scribe mark on it. Your scribe mark is straight up, and it's going to match up with the scribe mark on your engine block. You'll see it. You can't miss it. It's on my other video if you want to see that. Okay, now what that's going to do is that's going to bring the cam and the points to open part. Okay, so let's loosen up my points. There's only one screw to loosen, and then there's a spot right here for a screwdriver to adjust it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust it. Well, there's no cam on it, so pretend my thumb is the cam, and it's holding open the gap. Okay, you're going to stick your gapper, or your feeler gauge, which is going to be 0.14 or 36 millimeters, or 0.36 millimeter, not 36 millimeter, 0.36, and that's going to go right in between your gap. Like that. It's not going to be snug. You're going to be able to slide it in back and forth and touch both sides. Once you get that in there and the gap feels good, you're going to tighten down your lock screw. Then you're going to check your gap, and you should be able to slide that back and forth with very little drag. Okay, if you feel a drag on it, like a really heavy drag, and you hear a snap, if you hear this when you pull it out, let me put this back in there for a second. If you hear this sound, you did it wrong. If there's no sound, and you can put the feel gauge. Let me put this back down the regular size video here. If you can put the feel gauge back into it and pull it back out, back and forth smoothly, and feel it, and feel the points just touching it, then that is a properly gapped set of points. And then you should be all set to do the next step is check the spark before you put it all together. But you cannot gap them with the rotor off, because the rotor has to ride, this piece right here has to ride on the cam. Let's show you. This little brown piece that sticks off here, that rides on that cam, and that's what opens and closes your points. The other thing you want to do is take some oil and lubricate this little foam right here, which can also be done from one of these windows. Okay, you want to spray it down with some lubricant, and this is a wiper. What this does is this stops any crap from building up on this cam. Okay, so that cam right there, that foam or felt rubs against it and cleans it all off. Make sure that it's nice and clean. So, lubricate, replace your condenser every second set of points. If you've never done your points and condenser before, do them both the first time. Gap your points through the window with that notch right there, straight up at 12 o'clock. That's the highest point on the cam. Then you can gap it all through that window. When you replace your points, don't tighten the screw. Okay, so when you install the points, leave the screw loose. Slide it up if you can. Show you. So you can move them down and up. Slide them up. Lubricate the foam or the felt. Install this, and it's going to make it a lot easier to gap the points with the cam on there. There's a little window in there where you can gap them. Once you get the desired gap you want, then tighten up your screw. Real simple. Open it up till it just touches it. Put your fill gauge in here. See it up? Put your fill gauge in there until it just drags on both sides. Tighten down your Phillips screw. Tighten it down, pull your thing out, and you're all gapped. It's that simple. I'm just trying to show you some pictures of the points. See, that's what the cam on right now. Okay, this gap right here is actually opened up a little bit more than the fill gauge to accentuate and show you that there's a gap there. And then when you rotate the rotor on your next window, it should be closed. So that is how you do points. If you have any questions, by all means send them my way. What is the gap for the Kawasaki KM100s, the KD80s, the KD100s, the KM100s, the Kawasaki 90 and the Kawasaki 100? The gap on these is 0.35 millimeters to 0.014 inches. That is your gap for your contact breaker points. Right there. Contact breaker points. Ignition timing, bottom, top, dead center. Okay? Real simple. If you have any questions, I have seen some of these where it's bottom, top, dead center. So, I have seen a few of these models where you have to do it. Hold on one second. There are a few where you have to do it with that line straight down. Okay? And it gaps them on, for some reason, I don't know why. It's weird like that, but that's how it is. It gaps them like that. But on the KE100s, on my 92, it's like that. And on my KM is also like that, which is 79, but there is a 90 and there's another KE100. I forgot what year it is. It's literally like that. So anyway, that's how you gap the points. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.